Now, in our case, so we both work on cholangiocarcinoma. We're both physicians, we both treat patients, but Katie is obviously an expert in clinical trials and doing everything from large phase 3 studies that lead to FDA approval and smaller studies and doing correlative studies. Now, in our case, so we both work on cholangiocarcinoma. We're both physicians, we both treat patients, but Katie is obviously an expert in clinical trials and doing everything from large phase 3 studies that lead to FDA approval and smaller studies and doing correlative studies where we meet, because I also do smaller studies and correlative, but then I extend into the preclinical and the translational field. So, there's really a different perspectives that we see. Just the fact that there was a call for a grant basically made us get together and come up with an idea and brainstorm what actually to do. This is something that, we probably would, we would not have done. We could have done it, but we would not have done it. And I think, that's something which is always, an additional benefit that you don't see necessarily, even before getting a grant. You sit there together and say, okay, we have to come up with an LOI, this letter of intent, what is really needed and what is, the best way to approach this very important question. Working with patients and collecting samples and collecting the medical information is not easy, because that's not what we do as a routine practice. So that's number one, that we will use these funds. Number two, we will use these funds for certain assays which are very, very novel and also very, very expensive, and which are very difficult to pay otherwise.
Particularly the real-time collection of fresh white blood cells from an actual fresh sample requires rather immediate processing within just a few hours, and then storage in a particular way, which we already are doing, but to scale up we need the funding, so that will help us procure and process and store more samples, and then do rather nuanced and next generation, really state-of-the-art immune profiling on these verified white blood cell samples will be the bulk of our funding. Testament to how pivotal the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation has become in the field, that plus a very well-informed donor question has honed in on a key question of our moment right now, which is, why doesn't everybody respond to this regimen, and why do people progress, and how can we target that? And that's, I think, again, the reason that so many teams mobilize quickly to apply for this RFA is based on the fact that it's a great question, and CCF coalesced that question.
I would like to add there's something else which is very distinct for this type of award. So, obviously as a researcher, one of the main jobs is to obtain funding for your research. But in many cases, the funding comes from unknown sources, or is very, abstract. And, the Cholangiocarcinoma Foundation really makes a difference here, because all of a sudden you present your data that you actually generate with the generous support of the Cholangio Foundation, and you present it here at the meeting where you actually see the patients. And that's certainly quite unique.